Hello, everybody. We're just going to give it another minute here before we get started. I see we've got our coaches, our judges, we've got our competitors. We're just getting everything set, and we'll go ahead and get started in just 1 minute. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, we can go ahead and come on screen, unmute ourselves, and we can go ahead and get started for the finals round of our debate tournament. Coach Sam, you're going to be the chair for this round again, and the floor is yours. You can take it away.
Awesome. Well, excellent job, both of our finalists. We'll have Waverly on the pro side and then Shreya on the con side. I do ask to, just like the semifinals, look at your note cards before each speech. So Waverly, could I see your opening speech note card? Excellent. Looks good. Thank you.
Can I start now?
Oh yeah, you're good to start. Sorry about that.
Think of our economy like a staircase. 50% of the US are on the first step, while billionaires are 10,000 steps up. This analogy showcases that income inequality plays a major role in unbalanced wealth distribution. But by raising taxes on the wealthy, we can shrink the divergence between the rich and the poor to help society thrive. Raising taxes on the wealthy is a more effective strategy to balance the budget than cutting government spending because it reduces rising inequality, leads to better wealth redistribution, and government revenue maintains essential services. My first argument is it reduces rising inequality. According to a 2020 investigation led by ProPublica, the richest 400 Americans pay 8.2% of their total income through taxes, while an average American pays 13%. This is unjust and unethical. Additionally, the extra money that the wealthy would sacrifice would have a low impact on their quality of life, while it could significantly influence the lives of others, equipping them with the necessary staples for survival. For example, taxes could determine whether a billionaire has two pieces of fine art or one. While utilizing that same amount of revenue, a person from a lower income group could provide shelter, healthcare, and enough food for their family. My second argument is it leads to better wealth redistribution. According to Tax Foundation, the top 10% earners in the US hold 70% total wealth. And in Denmark, the top 10% earners only hold 46% wealth. The stark disparity in the US highlights a system where the rich get richer and the poor have to endure the harshest hardships. But by adopting a more balanced approach like Denmark, we could create a more equitable society. It can also lead to a revenue surplus to help balance the budget. Additionally, it will improve life satisfaction throughout the nation and strengthen our social welfare system. My third argument is government revenue maintains essential services. This can stimulate the economy and revolutionize and refine our infrastructure and society. According to International Monetary Fund, the incoming new federal government threatens to fire 75% of the federal workforce and major agencies and cut $2 trillion. This will have a negative impact on job growth and creation. Economic activity will decrease, leading to a prolonged recession. It will affect colossal, vulnerable populations all throughout the nation. To conclude, raising taxes on the wealthy is a more effective strategy to balance the budget than cutting government spending because it reduces rising inequality, leads to better wealth redistribution, and government revenue maintains essential services. As we imagine our economy as a staircase, let's advocate for a better future where we build balanced steps and where every individual has an opportunity to climb. Thank you.
Thank you. And cross-examination.
So, can you restate your second claim again, please?
My second claim is that raising taxes on the wealthy can lead to better wealth redistribution.
Yeah, and can I just have a clarification on the not the evidence that you have for the US and the Denmark? Can you explain that more? Like the comparison you had for Denmark's tax and US tax.
Okay, so basically, I talked about this piece of evidence from Tax Foundation, and there's a significant difference between how much wealth the top 10% in each country hold. And the most important thing about this is that it shows that Denmark has a stronger social safety net. And this means that there's more income and wealth equality, and they have a stronger social welfare system. So if we take a similar approach, then it can help us create a more equitable society, and it'll just improve our society and life satisfaction throughout our entire nation.
Thank you. And for the essential services, how can we guarantee that the government is gonna take this tax and put it towards the essential services?
Well, that's just generally what the government does. So government revenue, the government uses their the tax revenue that they collect from the taxes, and they just use it to fund these different programs and services.
You have an example of any of the services they fund right now and it's really excelling?
Yeah, so SNAP is a food assistance program. It's government funded, and in 2022, 89% of SNAP benefits went to households with incomes at or below the poverty line. And so this just...
Time, speakers, sorry. Thank you. So next up, we'll have Shreya. Could I see your opening note card? Excellent. Thank you. Is there another side? Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Imagine a world where 93% of the stock market suddenly disappears. Companies are moving to foreign areas outside the US. Innovation is severely decreasing. This is the risk we face if we increase taxes on the wealthy, who currently own more than 90% of our stocks. Putting higher taxes on the wealthy may seem like an easy job, but it's not, because raising taxes on the wealthy is a less effective strategy for balancing the budget than cutting government spending because of 3 reasons. 1, we are depending on a small group. 2, investment is reducing. 3, innovation is decreasing. Let's move on to my first point, which is about we are depending on a small group of people. According to Biden's 2020 campaign, $400,000 or more income per year is considered wealthy. However, this only applies to a small percentage of people here in the US. According to Investopedia.com in 2023, the top 5% of wealthy American citizens make $348,000 per year, and the top 1% makes $819,000 per year. This proves that we will be depending on a small group to balance our whole country's budget. Even if we do tax these people, we won't get anything out of it because it's such a small amount of people. Our national government could be at risk here. If these tiny percent of people, if their income fluctuates, Ours will too, because we're just so heavily relying on them. Is it really fair if we're just putting significant wealth on one group but not the other? How willing are these people going to be to stay in a country? Because why would you want to stay in a country when they're increasing taxes on you but not other people? These people have the money and resources to immediately travel to a different location, so what is stopping them? And when these high earners leave our country, it'll put us in even more tax revenue and in the end, not balancing our budget. So to conclude, when relying on an overly small group of people, our national government could be at a huge risk. My second claim is that investment is reducing. According to Fool.com, the top 10% of America's wealthiest people own 87% of our stock market. When the government increases taxes on these certain individuals, they lose the desire to invest. Taking risks is necessary in order to invest in productive innovation. So when the reward is going down for taking these high risks, these people might take safer, low risk options due to taxation. Our economy will go crumbling down when investment is reduced. Wealthy people tend to invest in businesses and real estate. And when investment is gradually decreasing, this limits the capacity to hire more employees in these businesses and real estate, and in the end, lowering the amount of jobs. Like I said, these people own more than 3/4 of our stock market. So if they're not actively engaging in it, it could potentially crash. So to summarize, people can greatly lose the desire to invest and taxation is raised upon them. My final claim is that innovation is decreasing. According to Oberlo.com, 67.7% of wealthy people are entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship can drive innovation to its greatest. When the government increases taxes on these certain individuals, they will hold back from taking these risky, game-changing innovative projects. These innovative projects help drive our economy out. Along with holding back, they may just relocate to a different location in general with lower tax rates. When taking these safer, less risky scenarios, our economy will suffer. This will slow down innovation greatly. If these high earners leave our country, we are losing talent. And remember, these people what drives our innovation in this country. So when they leave, innovation will too. So to summarize, when taking less risky scenarios, innovation will slow down greatly. Raising taxes on the wealthy may seem like an easy job, but it's not. It does not help balance our budget. We are relying on a small group, investment is reducing, innovation is decreasing. These effects would harm our economy more than help it. We need a better alternative for our future.
Thank you. Then cross-examination. Waverly, your 2 minutes will start when you ask your first question.
So in your first point about deciding on a small amount of people, how many people are considered wealthy?
Okay, so I said that so in Biden's 2020 campaign, he said that people with income of $400,000 or more is considered wealthy. I don't have the direct statistic for how many people are wealthy, but what I was trying to say is this top 3% of wealthy people is what we're relying on, and that would be inefficient.
Okay. Can you agree that if the top 3% have a lot of money, then this can yield a significant amount of tax revenue to the government?
I agree. They do have a lot of money, and yes, I agree, but there are other constants like tax evasion and capital flight that get in the way of these high earners.
Okay, and can you prove that the mindset of wealthy people is to relocate to another country?
What I was trying to say, what I was trying to say is that not all people are going to go to capital flight. Tax evasion is a thing too. But what I was trying to say in my first point is this small group of people is just too small to help our tax debt and support our government.
Okay, and then moving on to your second point, are there any historical examples of wealthy people losing the desire to invest after taxes are raised on them?
In France, I don't know the exact year, but a famous actor in France, there was a super tax, so 60% tax, quite a lot of tax. And him and a lot of other people, they were basically almost France at the moment, and he relocated to a different location because of this super tax, and that example could show that innovation and investment could go down at the same time.
That is time, speakers. Good job. Thank you. Waverly, would you like prep time before your refutation?
Can I use 1 minute, please?
1 minute, you got it. Okay, that's been 60 seconds. Do you need more time? Okay, can I see your refutation cards before you get started? Thank you. Thank you.
My opponent's first argument is that a small group of people will decide how much the budget is being balanced. But first of all, wealth redistribution outweighs concerns of this argument. According to International Monetary Fund, redistributing wealth can lead to 225 times more life satisfaction than leaving it in the hands of the wealthy. This highlights the powerful impact that redistributing wealth can have, and how it's more important and how it outweighs the argument that we will be deciding on a small group of people. My opponent's second argument is about the disincentive to invest. But first of all, tax reforms can stimulate economic growth. For example, the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 created tax incentives. This opened doors to opportunities to hire more workers. According to the IRS analysis, the IRA generated over $850 billion in revenue during only one fiscal year. Secondly, government policies boost spending. This can lead to a virtuous cycle where there's increased demand, which can lead to more jobs, higher wages, and ultimately translate to increased spending and investment. Finally, my opponent's third point was about stifling innovation and entrepreneurship. But first of all, we can support innovation. We can invest in progress and research, establishing a collaboration between academia and industry. This can promote a world of entrepreneurship, protecting intellectual property. Secondly, we can establish resources. The government can invest in courses, workshops, and mentorship programs that foster confidence. This can teach crucial business skills like marketing, leadership, and financial management that can help support innovation and a world of innovation and entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Thank you. And Shreya, would you like some preparation time before your refutation?
No, thank you. I'll just
Okay, can I see? Yeah,
That's first card.
thank you.
Second card.
Excellent.
And then third card.
Looks good. Thank you.
My opponent's first claim is that raising taxes will solve income equality. One, it will simply not. When we're taking from one class and not the other, that already shows income equality in the first place. Simply taking someone's hard-earned money and just redistributing it to other people, that is not fair or ethical. This is not equal if we're just significantly taking from one group and not the other. If we're just taking from the wealthy and just giving it to the poor, what actually happens to the wealthy? They own 3/4 of our stock market. So this can clearly slow down economic growth, and then in the end, the wealthy people's income can go down, so we can't heavily rely on them, and our country will go along down with it. My opponent's second claim is that we can distribute wealth better. However, wealthy people already pay a disproportional share of tax. According to itep.org in 2024, the top 1% earners pay over 40% of federal income tax. If we increase this more, this puts even more tax on the wealthy than they already have. This can lead to constants like tax evasion and capital flight, as the high income earner is already small in the first place. This system will slow down economic growth. Progressive taxation is targeting wealthy people for their income. Wealthy people have 87% of our stock market. So if they're not engaging in the stock market because of this system, they're not actually participating in the stock market, and this could lead to a crash. My opponent's final claim is that raising taxes on the wealthy will stabilize essential services. 1. Capital flight destabilizes essential service and funding. According to Oberlo.com, 67.7% of wealthy people are entrepreneurs. These entrepreneurs often start healthcare and education businesses. Higher taxes drive relocation and capital flight for these people and businesses. This results in a loss of service and funding. 2. Taxing the wealthy does not solve the healthcare problem. When you balance the budget, you often have to restructure these major programs like Social Security, Medicare, and ultimately healthcare. Simply taxing the wealthy will not solve these long-term problems of high-paying healthcare. According to Investopedia.com in 2023, the top 3% of American citizens are considered wealthy. And by taxing this 3%, you won't get anything out of it, let alone pay for your healthcare. 4. Government spending is quite inefficient. In 2023, the government spent $820.3 billion on the Department of Defense. This clearly proves that they are spending on an unnecessary amount of defense and not other essential services, leading me to believe they will not take this extra wealth and put it to essential servicing funding.
Thank you. And would you like your last minute of prep time, Waverly?
Yes, please.
Okay, that's been 1 minute. Can I see your note card for your closing speech? Excellent. Thank you.
Today, we've dissected and presented compelling arguments for and against raising taxes on the wealthy being a more effective strategy to balance the budget than cutting government spending. My winning argument is that it can lead to better wealth redistribution. This can significantly impact social and economic stability. It can lead to a revenue surplus to help balance the budget. My opponent's strongest argument is that raising taxes on the wealthy can stifle innovation. But I already effectively refuted this argument by highlighting that we can support innovation by investing in programs and courses that foster knowledge and confidence. So, to encourage people from lower income groups to create innovative projects to drive economic growth. Judge, this debate ultimately comes down to one thing: equality. The vast divergence between the rich and the poor portrays a cycle of disadvantage. My opponent's position is that it's justifiable for tens of millions of people to live in poverty, driven away from opportunity, and enduring social, financial, and health related hardships and disparity. In stark contrast, the wealthy have unparalleled opportunities. The only ethical decision is to advocate to bridge the divide between the rich and the poor. So let's embrace a better future with a steadfast, egalitarian society where the path to success and door to opportunity is open to everyone. Thank you.
Can I use 2 minutes of my prep time for this?
Yes, you got it. Okay, that's been 2 minutes, Shreya. Can I see your closing note card? Excellent. Thank you. So you got it. Okay.
My best claim is that relying on a small group of people is ineffective for balancing the budget. Evidence shows that we will be relying on the top 3% of wealthy people to balance our whole country's tax debt. This is simply ineffective and plain out not fair. My opponent claims that there's a bigger issue than this as she talks about wealth redistribution. This leads me to believe that she could not properly refute my point as she goes to talk about wealth redistribution. My partner's best argument is that raising taxes on the wealthy will stabilize essential services. I successfully won this argument because the government has clearly shown inefficiency in productive spending. The government spent $820.3 billion in the Department of Defense. A study in the 1990s shows that every $1 for tax is $1.59 for government spending. That was 1990. It is now January 12th of 2025. With the amount of tax and technology in the world right now, government spending would be so much higher than $1.59. And as we saw in the Department of Defense, as it was $820.3 billion. Judge, do you want to live in a world where you're being targeted for your wealth? People are treating you differently because you're making more money. Your money is just being stolen from you and redistributed to other classes. This is the reality of the pro world. In the con world, tax is fair. It is proportionate. It is equal. You not being driven to other countries because you make more money. This is why you should vote con side for a better future and a better alternative.
Good job, both speakers. Y'all did fantastic. Now we have a difficult decision once again. So just give us a moment to look through our ballots. Yeah, that is going to be a tough one to decide. So give us a moment.
I came on my camera and I forgot to go off mute. All right, everybody, this is the moment we are all waiting for. Who won the final round of our debate tournament? This was a very tough decision. I had to get myself involved on a 3-2 decision. We do now have Waverly as our official winner of our final debate tournament for quarter 2. Congratulations, Waverly, for being our tournament champion. What we want to be able to do, Waverly and Shreya, please stay on here. We want to get a photo of both of you for being our finalist here for the tournament. And then Waverly, you'll hang back for 1 extra second so we can just get our tournament winner photo here for you. So I'm going to do this. Let's go ahead and let's come off mute, Shreya and Waverly. I'm just going to adjust my view here so I can see us all. All right. If you both can just say hello, just so you're the spotlight on the camera here for me. Just say something. It'll go to both of you.
Hi. Hello.
All right, perfect. I'm going to take a screenshot here. We're going to go a big smile. Let's do our Capital Debate thumbs up. Let's go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Shreya, you can log off. Waverly, hang out for 1 more second. We're going to get just your photo for our tournament champion. But thank you so much. You both did a wonderful job. Shreya, you did a fantastic job today. Congratulations on your round record. And if anybody has anything else that they need, we're always here to support. Don't ever hesitate to reach out. But this was the end of quarter 2.